Hello everyone, and welcome back to Lisa's Little Critters. Today I have a very special thing to show you. After long awaited time, I was able to get the lighthouse. And of course I had to put my personal touches on it, and I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, please like and subscribe. That really helps me out. And first off, we're seeing the front, and of course I've customized it because that's what I do. And we'll start with the front door, which has some little stars, and you'll see that theme. I made the whole thing red, white, and blue because, you know, it had a lot of red and white and blue, so I just did the whole theme that way. This little chair down here was a chair that I had previous. It was in another display and I was able to use it. And these are my version of the seaside rabbits. And the little boy is out here on the balcony, and I dressed him up a little bit and made his little hat. Up here we have Mr. Rabbit, and he is watching out over everything. I had his little suit was from the grandfather rabbit, and I made his little hat. Around the outside of the tower I put, or the light, I put this bunting, and I'm going to show you in a minute where I got that. Now we're going to slowly come around. I put the stars all the way around the tower. There was like a flat place there, almost begging for trim. Now we'll start down here. Well, maybe we better start with the balloon because it's kind of in the way, and I'm gonna move it just a little bit. Okay. Now you can see I painted the balloon. It was yellow and green. I painted it red, white, and blue and put the little bunny in the swing. Down here we have Mrs. Rabbit, and I'm also going to move her so you can see the kitchen. And what I did with the kitchen is I painted the sink with the red, white, and blue. I put in wallpaper that I got at Hobby Lobby. Then right here, this little fridge came with a dollhouse miniature, and I painted it and put little, what do you call it? China on the top, and I'll show you more of that in a minute, but you can kind of see pretty good that sink and stove combination. Once again, as I pan back, you see the stars border all the way around. And before we leave the kitchen, I took out the shell steps. To me, they just did not look right. I couldn't get them in the right position. And I had this white ladder that was in the bin from a fire truck. And I took it off and cut it off, and now they have stairs to go up to the first floor. And one more thing before we leave the kitchen is the light. And I hope you can see. I think my phone is casting a shadow, but I painted this light. This light was pink, which made no sense. And the whole thing comes out from the top here. This whole part lifts up. And here, this whole thing lifts out, and that's where the batteries are kept. So I was able to lift it out, paint it, put it back, and I'm very happy with the results. Okay, now let's go downstairs to the living room. And in the living room, you know that this house came with furniture, the lighthouse. I didn't like it, of course. All I got was the couch with this. I got this on eBay, and it was being sold by a pawn shop of all things. Now this is a little woodsy table, and I was able to paint the top. The china is from Temu, and it was just blue and white, and with nail polish, red nail polish, I was able to make tiny little lines and dots so that it was red, white, and blue. These are miniature chairs that I kind of had to cut down. And back here in the back, I think you can see it pretty good, is the desk. And I just painted it white and blue and put some accessories on it. And there's a good shot of the door again. Now over here, there's a couch and a table under the window. I painted the trim on the window and put a little star up there at the top. And then this chair is facing away, but this was a yellow miniature chair, as you see. And I just covered them with fabric. Okay, and let me show you this too, because this was the couch that came with the lighthouse, that scalloped white couch, and I just covered it in plaid fabric. Okay, we'll put that back, maybe. There we go. All right, there we are. Now we'll go upstairs to the living quarters or the bedroom. This paper was also scrapbook paper, and it looked like a wave, and it had the red, so I was able to use it, and I wallpapered the walls. The bed was a miniature bed that came with a set that I just covered. I had found this fabric in the bin. I thought it looked like a quilt. And there's little Miss Rabbit in her little outfit. And then this up here, now let me see if I can get, is a little bed. And once again, scrapbook paper I use for everything. So I made the headboards and everything, but it's a regular, Sylvania family Calico Critter bed that I just fixed up. Now I've knocked her down. Always. She's going to go to sleep in the bed. All right, and then this little bookcase was yellow. I'll bring him out so you can see. Underneath, he was yellow. I painted him and then painted the books. So you can customize furniture, and it's really not difficult. I love it because I feel like it's almost like coloring, like when you were a little kid. And I thought it came out so nice in there. Now, there we go, something like that. Hold on, there we go. Now, and then this is a little Sylvanian family or Calico Critter shelf. And I painted it. I'll show you the back because then you can see that I painted it. There you go. And then I made some books to put on the shelf, and I found this little bitty fish, and I thought that came out really cute. Back the shelves like I did downstairs. And while we're downstairs again, because that finishes upstairs, except, let's do one more thing. I painted the trim around these doors. It was tan, and I felt like it really needed to be blue. Of course, because I can't just leave things regular. Now you see this paper I repeated down here with around, all the way around the room. And then over here, and I'm hoping you're going to be able to see this, on the door, I did an arch with those stars all the way around the arch into the kitchen, and continued down here with the stripes right here. So it goes all the way around the room, the bottom half. And now I'm going to show you. This is the scrapbook paper that I used. It was at Hobby Lobby. And all you do, you can just strip it I cut it into strips, and then I was able to just glue it to the house, and it just added so much. I hadn't thought about doing this, but when I saw this paper, I was like, oh, I can do something with that. And also, this was a piece of paper they had, and for the bunting, and that's what I used to go all the way here around the building. I'm going to turn it again so you can see that that goes all the way around the top, and I think it just adds so much between that and the stars. And on the side here, I painted this window blue, and it had the same flat strip. I put the blue around the window and the little star, and it just adds to these buildings. If you do the least little bit, it adds to them. And again, I painted this. This was tan, and again, it didn't make sense to me because of the blue railing, so I painted it blue because I liked it better. And then there are tiny little anchors that I painted blue that are on both of these windows. The only thing I don't like about this is that these red shutters, to me, just don't look right. I almost want to paint them blue. It did come with 3 of the viewer screens that go up to the ceiling, and the lighthouse does work. So the light does come on. I can probably, it has to have the viewer in for it to work, and that's something to know because we thought it was broken. But those viewer screens, one of them has to be in the lighthouse in order for it to work. And back here, right there, is where you put the view screen in, and I have plenty of room under the bunting to do it. And there's little Miss Rabbit, and the only thing we figured out is that to get her on and off, this moves over, and then she can get off on the 2nd floor. So she's not hanging there in space forever. The balloon on the lighthouse, we kind of questioned as to why it was there, but it's cute, and it's fine to play with. That's about it for my lighthouse. I just love this building. I am going to make a video on the seaside restaurant and the seaside ice cream shop, and then show them all together in a scene. So I'm going to have a seaside scene with these new buildings that I've been able to get. I hope you enjoyed it, and hope to see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.